Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. To my subscribers, thank you for your continued support. If you're new to the channel, what I do here at SJA Adventures and Reviews is I take the input from my subscribers, the gear they want to see reviewed, and then I try to go on adventures like this one, test that out, and then tell them what I think about it and if it's worth purchasing. So, for today's little trip, we are doing some backcountry skiing. We are going down to Bald Mountain near Breckenridge, Colorado. And we'll talk about not just the route itself, but the gear I use to start. So let's take a look at that real quick. This is what I'm considering my standard loadout so far, you guys. Most of this is going to stay the same if you follow a couple of these videos. All the information down at the bottom, so pause, take a look if you want to. If you have questions about any of this gear, please drop a comment below because I'm not going to talk too much about each of them right now. But just a couple of the highlights I would like to make. I've had 2 days on these boots now, and the inserts are still giving me nasty blisters, so I might change those inserts out. Avibag is still super comfortable, even though it's a little heavy. And then for today, the layers, these were all brand new to me. They're all from Black Diamond, because yeah, I'm a bit of a Black Diamond fanboy. All of their stuff fits me really well. It's very comfortable and has lasted me a long time. So these are the Dawn Patrol Hybrid Shell and Pants with a Coefficient LT Hybrid Hoodie. On a warm day like this where it was not snowing, these hybrid shells were fantastic. They breathe very well, they let sweat out, they let just enough temperature out, and they were still windproof and waterproof enough that when I was scrambling over some snow and some rocks, I stayed warm, but without sweating. So day one on those things, all three of those were fantastic. So let's get back to the route. So if you're going to be doing Bald Mountain yourself, something to note is that the winter route is different from the summer route. Usually the summer route comes down from Boreas Pass Road, and it's pretty much a straight shot with some switchbacks up to the peak. But if you were to do that in the winter, you'd be going through some pretty severe avalanche runout areas. So I started over here at the Mount Baldy Trailhead. So let's take a look at what this looks like in 3D if we can. And if you're going to come up here and do this yourself, and you're just looking for some good local beta, this parking lot right here is very obvious. Even though it's tucked back into these houses, there is a designated parking area. You could probably fit a good 20 cars back there. And then the skin track is basically a packed down road that has a gate at it that cars can't get past. So you have a nice wide, very packed down skin track here. And so once you leave the parking lot and you get all of your gear set up and you have your plan with your buddies, you're going to set off, and the first 1.2 to 1.5 miles of this are very mellow. You can knock that out pretty darn quick as a good warm-up, maybe shed a layer or two as you get moving. And then once you come up around this first 90-degree turn and into the second 90-degree turn is when it actually starts to get a little bit steeper and you're approaching tree line here. This is when you kind of get to decide where you want to go in regards to the Baldy descent. My ascent is the dashed light blue line that runs to the right. Although there were several other people out here today that were just lapping this glade area, I decided to, like I said, go all the way up to the peak. So I just followed this path up. And met my original planned route here and just kept on uphill, skinning, hit a nice big switchback just based on the current skin tracks that were out there. It was more efficient to go to the skinner's right than over to the skinner's left over here. And then you come up to this little bit of a ridge line where you can see you can see Bald Mountain for the first time. But at this point, I was still socked in with weather. There was a cloud layer at about 12,500 feet. And I knew that the clouds were supposed to burn off a little bit later in the afternoon, so I was just hiking along, kind of in some mist and some clouds here, just hoping it would clear up. And this blue X here is where I expected to take the skins off and have to start boot packing. But there was just enough coverage with snow that I was able to make it a little bit further up. And this is when it started to definitely get a little bit slower. As you can see from a couple of the pictures in the videos I'll show you, there's absolutely no way you could ski down any of this right now, just based on coverage. And I kind of knew that going in. It was just going to be a big hike, really, not really a skiing day, so I'm not taking credit for skiing Bald Mountain's summit, but hiking it absolutely. There she is. Got a ways to go, but the sun's finally coming out. Yeah. Once you get up to this section, it gets pretty steep. Yep, it does. You are hands and knees, probably like a class 3 scramble with all of your kit on. I'd considered dumping my skis and some weight back down when I transitioned off of my skins, but considering other people were up there, I didn't just want to leave my stuff out, one, to bother their time out in nature, and two, because I didn't want someone to walk away with them. But this is where it really starts to slow down, but this is also where the sun starts to come out and you start to get some of these just beautiful views of the surrounding area, which you can see here. And then you just kind of got to keep trucking. You're starting to get some blisters in your boots, like I was mentioning on my new boots, but whatever. And then you make it all the way up to the peak of Bald Mountain. And I'll show you a nice panoramic video and picture here. But anywho, like I said, did make it up to the peak. The weather was absolutely phenomenal. There was no wind. It was warm enough. I got to sit down and just hang out and eat my lunch for a good 30 to 40 minutes and kind of just enjoy being outside after such a big effort to get up there. Absolutely fantastic day. And then at about 3 o'clock, I started to make my descent back down, where I just boot packed the same way I came up as the sun was setting behind me. And I'm going to go into 2D mode here just to make it a little bit easier to track. So just boot packing down the ridge all the way back down to where I had taken my skins off. Made the mistake of taking my skins off a little bit too early, and there was not very good snow coverage up here just yet, and got a couple of nasty shots on my skis. But there were a few people up here just lapping this baldy descent, so it was pretty tracked out, but I finally got my first turns of the day about 5 hours into it. But there's a beautiful alpine glow going on as the sun was setting over the mountains to the west, and just made it back down to that little skin track that we followed all the way up with a video of what that looks like. And then just kind of cruised all the way back down to the car, just about like 20 minutes before last light. and it was an absolutely fantastic day. Ton of skiing, not really. No, it was mostly hiking, but I knew that going into it, going for a 13er in late January. And I got to test out my new kit. Apparel from Black Diamond, absolutely loved it. I'll be doing more reviews on those individually later in the season. But for Bald Mountain, you guys, that's about all I have for you. If you have any questions for me, please put them in the comments below. If you want to see more content like this, please tell me what route you want me to go try to do. I will be doing more of Lou Dawson's light tours of Colorado, especially whenever I'm going out solo. So until I get some recommendations, and until next week when I go back out again, you guys, please stay safe. Try to challenge yourself with something new every day, and I will see you later. See ya.